Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Almost Athletic podcast. It's been a while. I would like to explain why and explain where my co-host is for this week. First of all, we'll explain the hiatus. So 2 weeks ago, we did record episode 12 of the podcast, but on the platform that we use to record these, during the uploading process, the audio and video was not in sync with when we were actually talking. Probably due to bad internet connection, I would think. And so we lost an episode. It's unfortunate. It's a shame. But there was unfortunately nothing we could do about it. I did try to switch things around and make it match up, but, I'm not an expert here. I'm not a pro. And so we lost one, which is okay. Things happen. And so now the next week was Memorial Day weekend. So we were at a triathlon training camp that weekend on Friday and Saturday. And then we both went to the lake on Sunday and Monday. So it just made sense for us to just take that week off, enjoy the time with family and friends, and, kind of fully focus on that. So that was fun. And then as far as where my co-host, Mr. Joseph Welch, is this week, he's actually on vacation. Somewhere I will be next week is on vacation. So we're getting a little solo podcast action going this weekend, a little practice. And so that'll be interesting. I'm going to try to go for about 30 minutes, maybe 25, 30 minutes, and just see how we do. We're going on we've got a little agenda here. But yeah, so Joseph's out. He is currently in Utah. He's been going to all these national parks. And next week when we do an episode, we will have to have a full recap from my co-host Joseph Welch. So I'm hoping that he's having a good time out there. But yeah, this is going to be a little weird. So I won't try to go too long, but gotta put the content out for the people. So thanks for tuning in. First things first, we'll do a training update. So let's talk about this week. Big week. Rest week, but week before that we missed. So rest week was nice. Get the body back feeling good and healthy. But this week we've had a total of 8 hours of training, and that looks a little bit like this. So let's go and do swimming first. So a little over 4,000 yards in the pool, 2 swims, kind of maintenance technique swims. Both of them went actually pretty good, which I was happy about. And then runs this week, heavier run mileage week. We're about a little over 15.21 miles of running, 2 hours and 25 minutes. 2 of those runs were over 6.5 miles, one being on Monday and one being on Sunday, as this is today that you're listening to this. And then a little smaller maintenance run in the middle. As far as rides go, 73.97 miles, so almost 74 miles. And so that was pretty much all done inside on the trainer. And that was good workouts. So it's weird not having somebody to kind of bounce things back and forth and ask me questions about, but yeah, so good week. We are now 14 weeks out from Ironman 70.3 Wisconsin. And I know Joseph's been getting a little training in. He did do a 50-mile ride in St. George, Utah, which is where they host the World Championships, I believe, for the 70.3. So can't wait to hear about that ride. I know he had to rent a bike for that. Had a kind of a hilarious helmet on in a video. If I can find a video, I'll put it in a clip for you. But yeah, I'm excited to hear how his trip was. And so that was my week training wise. Looking ahead, next week I will be down at the beach in 30A area. So hopefully I'm not going to mess around with any ocean swims. And so I don't think swimming will be in the week, but hopefully get to bike and run still. Just space willing if I can bring my bike or not. Also, one thing I'm curious about for any riders out there is putting your bike on a exterior bike rack for longer than 7-8 hours good for your bike, or does it like dry out the chain? Like what should I guess probably would lube it up after the drive, but I am kind of curious as to what the process looks like for taking your bike that far, because I guess I'm gonna have to figure that out before Ironman Wisconsin too, because that's also a pretty long drive. So that's a question I'm curious about, because I don't know if I would put it in the car or put it on a bike rack. Also, kind of putting it on a bike rack kind of scares me, but I know it's really not a big deal. I probably shouldn't worry about it. But just some thoughts. So moving right along, over this weekend on Friday night, for you Memphians out there, Nate Bargatze was in town, and so we bought tickets, a couple months ago. Obviously, I'm a comedy fan. Big fan of all the comedians out there. Never have watched. I know who Nate Bargatze is just through social media and stuff, like people word of mouth. But I've never watched any of his specials. I've seen clips. I've seen small bits and pieces of his stuff, but I've never watched a special. So I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I do know obviously that he's a clean comedian, very relatable as far as his stuff, very family oriented, and funny and dry, pretty dry humor, not super animated. But we did go, and so Friday had a good dinner downtown in Memphis. Went to the Forum. I will say this about the comedy show: I think it's hard for really anybody to do comedy in a arena of that size. It's 15 plus thousand people. Probably wasn't at capacity, but still, it's just a big room to try to occupy with your personality. And when his personality is on the drier side, I just don't know if it's it matches well with a smaller venue. So I'm probably more critical than most, unfairly. I mean, I'm a big comedy fan, as I said. So I just don't think that, for me personally, I like my comedy to be a little more, edgy and stuff that I wouldn't say, versus somebody that's just like extremely relatable. And like all of his jokes, it seemed like, I've either seen that being done, as far as like I've seen someone in real life do like a joke that he made like a situation that he made a joke about. Seems like I've seen somebody do that, or like I've done it myself. So it's just like more like a dramatic version of your life in like a funny way. And so it was just interesting. Like it wasn't super like, I don't know. It's just, I'm comparing it to like, Shane Gillis, Dave Chappelle, Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, like all those other comedians that are more, try to push the envelope a little bit more. So I don't know. That's just my review of the show. I thought it was good, but I didn't really have like one of those like laugh out loud, like belly laugh moments. But saw pictures and photos of other people that were there saying that they laughed, belly laughed, and it was hilarious and all this stuff. But for me, it's just not my style of comedy. And I'm sure Nate's obviously probably a great guy, and I mean, have nothing bad to say about him, personally. It's just everybody's got a different taste. So, that was kind of my review of the Nate Bargatze show that we went and saw on Friday. Another thing over this week that happened was the gameplay for EA Sports College Football 25 was released. Let me tell you something. Talk about me being fired up. That I've been waiting on a video like that since I was 12. The game, when it was coming out all the time, back in 2011, 12, 13, all through our childhood, it used to come out on my birthday every year. So I would look forward to the summer and my birthday for that game, especially. I've had that game since 2007, when I was old enough to play a video game, when Reggie Bush was on the cover, until 2014, when Denard Robinson was on the cover. And over the podcast that you guys missed, me and Joseph actually picked cover athletes for each year that the game was not being made until today. And so obviously this game means a lot to a lot of guys my age and around my age. So seeing a video like that with Kirk Herbstreit doing the narration, talking about, different ways to throw the ball, how much control you're going to have over your players, talking about the difference between having, a freshman quarterback or a freshman receiver, or a young team versus an old team, and like versus a older quarterback with more experience, and, crowd noise and home field advantage, and, impact players and all the things. Yeah, I got excited. And it doesn't, for me, I got a PS5 actually this week. And so I've been playing a lot of Madden, and from that gameplay versus the Madden gameplay, it doesn't. I mean, obviously there's similarities because it's made by the same person, but it doesn't look like just Madden animations remade. Like there was some stuff in there that's different, like some of the option stuff and the passes and the catches and the tackles are all kind of different. So seeing that was encouraging. Yeah, I was super excited about it. Trying to think what else in that video excited me. But hearing the like the college band style music in the video too, because everybody kind of remembers the 2014 like dun 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 dun, dun, dun like video game music that everybody loves. So remaking that was something that's important and not like having like just like a soundtrack with music that not everybody likes. So yeah, I mean, I'm just glad to see that they're holding true to some of the older style of the game. But one thing that was a little disappointing to hear about was that they're not having high school football in Road to Glory. I think that's a major. I mean, obviously there's more stuff to the game now, so it's like trying to build everything, or really two games in one, like having high school and college in the same. I get it why they're not doing it because of all the things that are new to Road to Glory, like NIL, Road to Glory, or sorry, NIL, transfer portal, managing like classes and all that stuff apparently is going to be in the game, which is going to be kind of fun. But yeah, it's just I get it, but also kind of fun to have your high school in there or something like that and play, create your own schedule, play the schools you played against. Like I thought that was kind of fun, but things are going to get cut out of the game obviously from 2014. We've there's been a lot. It's been 10 years or 11 years since the game came out, so I get it. I'm not too. I can let some things go. I'm not going to be too cruel. I'm just happy to have the game back. Now, I've always said since they stopped making the game that I will pay any amount of money for that game to come back. So if I wanted the game 3 days early, I could pay $150 and get the game 3 days early. But that would include Madden. And I don't really want Madden. I buy Madden like every 4 years because it's basically the same thing over and over again. But I don't know. I want to stay hold myself to my word of I'll pay any amount of money to have it. So I want it 3 days early. So I probably will end up paying $150 for both games just to play it early. But yeah, I'm excited. I can't. July 19th or 16th can't come fast enough. And it's great because it's coming out on my birthday. My birthday's a Friday. It'll probably take all day to download, but then Friday night through that weekend, my girlfriend, if you're listening to this, you won't see me. Just leave me alone or bring me candy because I'm going to be sitting right where I'm at right now, looking at the screen, past the screen that I'm looking at right now with my PlayStation, playing EA Sports College Football 25 all day, every day for that whole entire weekend. So it can't come fast enough. I'm looking forward to it. So with that, moving on to gripe of the week. My gripe of the week this week is electric paper towel dispensers. Now you might be asking or wondering why have a personal vendetta with a electric paper towel machine. Well, if you think about it, they never give you enough paper for your hands when they're wet. You always need at least 2 or 3. A lot of times it's 3 or 4 little dispensers of paper towels to even get close to drying your hands off all the way. And another issue is you can't just like wave your hand in front of it again to make it longer. You have to rip it, let the thing reset, and then wave your hand in front of it again just for it to give you another short piece of paper towel. So yeah, I think we should get rid of them. I think the cranks, the ones with the little like a slot machine one version, are so much better. It lets me just wop 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 once, get all the paper towel that I need, and then wipe my hands off, dry them off, one full go. No need to wipe my hand in front of it 6 times just to get my hands dry. So yeah, I think everybody has had that thought once in their life just to see if, or just to be like, why can't it just give me like triple what it's giving me? But these things are machines. But that's my gripe of the week, and I think it's a pretty solid one. So let me know what you think. Lastly, and this is gonna be quick. This is gonna be about 15-minute pod, in and out. First one, solo dolo. Thanks for tuning in. This is just me today. Don't want to bore you. Just wanted to give you guys an update about what's going on. We've been MIA, so sorry about that, but we're back, and next week we'll be fully back when my co-host Joseph is back. So looking forward to that. I do enjoy coming on here and talking, but I'm not gonna hold you too long this week. So good word for the week. Saying thank you over, appreciate it, or I appreciate it. Because here's my thing. Thank you is saying thank you to the person for the act. Saying appreciate it is saying you appreciate the act from the person. I think the act is not what's most important. I think it's the thing that the person took time out of their day to do an act for you. So thank you, I feel like it's more direct, versus appreciate it is just kind of nonchalant and passive. Thank you is more, hey man, I recognize that you did this for me. Thank you. So as you go about your week this week, think about it. Try to say thank you instead of appreciate it. If somebody holds the door for you, hey, look them in the eyes. Thank you. Somebody, I don't know, pays for your coffee. Thank you. Lets you in traffic. Even if you're in your car by yourself, wave to them or mouth the word thank you. So that's my good word for the week. And we'll get out of here. Guys, thanks for listening. Follow the podcast on Instagram at Almost Athletic Pod. And we'd love to have you. Keeping some content on there. And we're back. That's what I'd like to say. The goal of this pod was just to let you guys know that we're still here. We're back. And we'll be fully back next week. So thanks for tuning in. See you guys next week.